Hello, everybody. Welcome once again. It's Monday. It's Monday, and I'm excited to be here with you today. Welcome. Okay. We're ready. Tosin, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have you, and
No problem
you
at
look
all.
really good. I love the hair. I did see
Thank
a peep of the
you.
shoes. So thank you so much for joining us. Today we
Thank
started our Purpose Ambassador series, and I know that you're one of amazing ambassadors here at Living Boldly. You've been part of the journey, like it's been a long journey.
yes.
So I'm here to take notes, to listen, in as much as we're going to ask you questions. So thank
Pressure.
you. Yeah, no pressure. No pressure. So the first thing you want to do, maybe you want to introduce yourself, and just mention like the key things you want people to know about you. Yeah.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Or by my time, it's 1 p.m. right now. So good afternoon by my time. Good morning wherever you're watching from. If you're in the morning, and then good evening where if you're in the evening, wherever you are. So my name is Tosin. I usually say I'm a health analyst, public health analyst by morning, and then a businesswoman at night. I'm a lover of God, daughter of Zion. I love God, and I'm passionate about everything that has to do with His kingdom. I believe God has called me to serve in the capacity of supporting young mothers in any and every way that I can. Young moms, young mothers, I feel like that's where God has called me to, and that's where the core of what I do is centered on. Yeah. So, and apart from that, my personal space, I'm married, I'm a wife with two daughters, two beautiful daughters. So whenever Nika says that she's had more tea parties than she I can totally relate because I think yesterday we were playing dress up. It was yesterday's. Today's agenda has not been reviewed yet, so so until then. But that's just basically me. And then maybe as we talk more, I would share more about myself in the different seasons that I've been in.
Thank you so much, Tosi, for that introduction. I'm going to pass you on to Oluseyi. I'm going to be the quiet one today.
Oh, hello. It's supposed to be the other way around. Anyway, yeah, Tosin, thank you so much for coming on. And honestly, I look at you and I'm like, wow. See what God can do with someone who's yielded, who's submitted to what he wants to do, like totally yielded to God's instructions. I think I remember my first encounter with you. I think you said you had come across me on LinkedIn, if I remember.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my goodness, like on LinkedIn. And then she connected to Mom University and all that we're doing there. And she came on into Mom University as a student. And I'm like, oh my God, is this the same person who came into Mom University? Because
I
God
know.
has just been like, there's been this tremendous shift, this tremendous move. And I'm like, I can't even recognize you. I'm sure you can't even recognize yourself.
I know. I can't.
Also, and it's just been this phenomenal journey. And I think I want to start with just a question around what was in your thoughts the moment you saw me, for example, on LinkedIn, or you saw the Mom University brand on LinkedIn. What was your first reaction like? And how
Okay.
did you like transition from that point onto coming into the program?
Okay. So for me, the first thing I saw actually was a flyer. It was a flyer that attracted me. And for me, before I would jump into something, I would like do my research and ask and be convinced, first of all, before I officially commit, right? So when I had seen the flyers, I think what was there was that, are you confused? Are you tired of status quo? Something like that. It's like, I was like, so is this person reading my mind? They're like, are you confused? Are you tired of status quo? Are you overwhelmed? Something like that. I've forgotten the exact, but it was like four questions that they asked. And then they said, oh, if you're in this, or if you said yes to any of these four questions, then this program is for you. That was what I saw. And for me, I said yes to all the four questions because I was just confused. At that time, I'd had my second daughter and I was confused as to the routine of just waking up, taking care of kids, taking care of family. Like, I was just confused as to there is more. I know there is more to me. I know there is more to what God has called me to do, but I was just tired of that cycle. I didn't even know how to even get started. So that was where, for me, that was what attracted me, because I answered yes to the four questions, and then I did what's it called? I did my research, I asked questions. So one of the persons that posted the flyer, I also reached out to her and I had asked questions. She was like, oh, don't worry. If it's anything Olusheye, don't worry, you're in good hands. Just go. So I went with that faith, like, okay. She said, if this so far is anything Olusheye, just go. I think your brand had preceded you. So that was what made
Interesting.
me that was what made me register for the program. It was a bit, actually, to, the way devil works is that when you're even about to do something great for yourself, that's when little challenges that normally shouldn't even make sense. So even for me, there were so many questions they were asking on the registration form. I'm like, should be they say we should answer yes. Why are they stressing me? Just give me form, let me start. Which one is all this question? Yeah, this do video, do. So they were asking for plenty things. I was wondering why. She just said just, but actually those little things is part of the process. It's part of the refining. How well can you withstand pressure? How well are you able to get out of your comfort zone? Yes, you want change, but are you ready to step out of your comfort? Because to experience change, you have to be uncomfortable. So for me, those questions they were asking, it was really, really uncomfortable, because I just made up my mind that, you know what, let me just give this a try. Let me not be discouraged by the form and whatever questions or the requirements to join the program. Let me just go ahead. That was what also it just pushed me, like I should be uncomfortable. So yeah.
Wow. I love that. I love what you said about the form. That form is, I'm like, even when I was going for my MBA, I do not think that they asked me all this bunch of questions.
I know.
But the thing about sometimes articulating some things is that sometimes, even without you having a conversation with anybody, you already see where the issues are. Just walking through that process of, okay, I think this is me. This is speaking to me. And I love how you did that. You said you didn't give up. You didn't say, well, it's too much, I'm not going to do this. And if you see how much you have grown, in the last few years of your life, you'll be able to tell that, and that's something that I admire about you. You are that person who goes for what you want to go for. Like, even though you may have challenges on your way, you don't allow it to discourage you. You just keep going. Like, you just keep pushing through and make sure you break forth on the other side. And so I love that you said your state of mind was confusion. You felt like you were stuck, you were looking for answers, and you thought, let me give this program a try. And you're enrolled. So let me ask the next follow-up question. Okay, was it what you expected it to be? Because I know university is rigorous, it is intense. I wanted to share that part of your journey.
To be honest, it's not what I expected at all. Like, it's beyond expectation. I did not think it was going to be as rigorous as this was. The truth of the matter is that if I knew, that could have probably discouraged me. And I'm even glad I did not know. I just kept on taking it every day as it comes. And for me, even there were moments that, even when I'm having call or doing assignment late at night, my husband will be asking, is it this mom university? People are very, very serious. So, like, it's very, very serious. But I'm glad I went through the process. I'm glad I went through that process. For me, the assignment is not something that you can copy. It's not something that you can
Google.
You have to you cannot Google it.
It's about
you have to sit down and do your soul search. You have to sit down and ask yourself those right questions. And it's from there that you get your clarity. I remember the first class on that Saturday morning, or it was around 1 p.m. my own time. We had the first class, and the first class was identity and false identity markers. And for me, it was just mind blowing. It was table shattering for me. Like, if they ask you to describe yourself, the things that you used to describe yourself. So there are some things that I think it was Coach Toyin that she had used to describe.
Yeah.
It made absolute sense for you to be identifying yourself as that. Especially, like, I consider myself a Black woman. I identify as a Black African woman of Black African descent, and then Coach Toyin is telling me that if that is your identity or that's your marker, then you are very wrong.
Yeah.
That was table shattering for me because that's my identity. That's the pride, my logo that I'm carrying on my shoulder. And then
The
she's telling me
shoulder
that I'm
part.
wrong.
The
My
shoulder
shoulder
part
pad.
in your
And
dress.
she's telling me, oh, her that identity is wrong. And so many other false identity markers that she had listed. So for me it was table shattering. And then after the session we had assignments that we had to go on, and then it's just for me to properly, the assignment was properly for me to detox my mind from all those false identity markers that I've been carrying on my shoulder pad, maybe from my past. And even the assignment to the book of you, we're writing the book of you, story about yourself, the past, present and future. So even that day to the combination of you walking through your past, journaling through your past experiences that you've been carrying consciously, the ones that you've been carrying unconsciously, the things that have been happening to you, that even you yourself, like some experiences that you don't even know that would have. So I'm telling my sister, I'm giving her eye, but she's not getting the message.
Oh my.
So those false identity markers basically was the foundation for you to let go of all the things. It was just amazing. So many sessions that we had. Is it even the soul healing session? I did not even know there was a therapeutic session for your soul that you can that you can experience. Even some, like, even it could even be as basic as losing a job,
Yeah.
or and how you're dealing with that process, and how you carried maybe the negative words or the negative comments that was passed across to you during that your working experience, and you've been carrying it around thinking that that's who you are. So it was just a good experience to properly detox from your past, engage in your now, work from your future. Okay, what do you see in 10 years from now, and then pull that future to your daily life. For me, it's just,
Wow.
it's still what I'm still working on on a daily basis. But working from the future to today, pulling your future. Okay, how do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Pulling that person of in 10 years' time to today, and making those steps towards achieving that. And it's amazing living that intentional lifestyle, because even some things that you even think that you achieve them in 10 years' time, you can even achieve them in 1 year, because there's clarity, and you can even push even more. So for
Wow.
me, the clarity, I think I'm talking too much, but
No, no,
the
no.
clarity.
No. I mean, it's. I'm like, oh my goodness. You know the best part for me is you came into Mom University in September 2020. This
Yes.
is September in a few days, 2022,
Oh,
and that is
yes,
2 years
yes.
after. And what
Oh
what
my
that means for
God.
me is you
Can you believe it's
remember
just 2 years?
exactly what your experience was like. That is big
Yes.
for me because I'm like,
I know.
this is what they call an immersion experience. This is
I know.
transformation.
I love
Do you
that.
see? Because now
Yeah.
you remember everything because
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
transforming for you, and that just gives me goosebumps. Like, oh my God, this is what God is. This kind of like the thing that God wants us to go through, where your life is totally transformed. The change. You're like, oh my God, I remember when I met with Jesus. That kind of thing. I
Right.
remember this experience. I
This
remember this
life-changing
encounter.
experience.
Right.
Mm.
And that's what really the program is about. It's immersion. It's life changing, even for us that are here. Like Nikki can testify. Just by looking at some of the things, I'm like, oh my goodness, see what is going on with me. See how my life has changed.
That's
You know,
right.
see transformation. See what God has done with me. I don't know if Nikki has any questions.
I do.
Yeah,
Actually,
because I know that she's looking at you like, oh my God, I have questions for her.
I have a question for you. I've been penning things out. Like, one, first of all, LinkedIn, of all the places, people go there to look for jobs and make professional decisions, not find something like Mom University. And just amazing how when God wants you to do something, He's gonna put it where you would find it. So I put that for
Yeah.
myself. And then I think the second one is pain points. Like, your pain point before coming to the university, from what I heard from you, is that you were confused. And then you saw this list of questions like, why am I saying yes to each one of them? I should just say yes to one. And I feel like, okay, I'm not too bad. Okay, so my question is, what has been your journey so far? So 2 years ago, you went through the whole immersion. I mean, I love that Lucia is talking about it like you're actually talking about it like you just finished.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years in the
Yeah.
middle of a pandemic, when
Yeah.
life was, whatever. You're able to do this and walk through this. So what has been your journey from when you finished till now? Because Mom University is just for like 9 months, so it's been done for a while now.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, the journey is continuous. Like we had the boot camp last week and I was still there. So for me, the journey is ongoing, but my experience so far, because when I joined the program in 2020, because then I had a clear plan, and then nobody expected the pandemic, and nobody expected the whole world to shut down, and that just even took me to immediate depression. And then this program was literally light for me in that dark place, and I was unemployed at the time. I was confused. I did not know what else I was doing at the time. I was just living every day. Just let today come. We've marked it. Go and sleep tomorrow again. But I was now very, very intentional about what I wanted, my passion, my purpose, what did God call me to do. I was more intentional about my daily life basically. And from then I took job applications seriously. I started taking courses basically based on from the program. I had like a 10-year plan now, what I see myself. So I had different buckets and that's how I, even up till now, I still now deal with my life in buckets. So in my personal life, in my career, for example, I wanted to start my job in public health. I had like the dream organization I really wanted to work with. For fitness, I wanted to lose weight. For finances, I also had my financial goals. For I don't know, Coach Shea has the template. If you need it, contact her. She will help you. So because they had done the template for me, remember that you are the one that will still do the work. But it gave me clarity. Okay, in these areas of my life, where do I want to improve myself? So I actually landed my dream job. Amazing. And I left. And then I left the dream job because I had gotten all that I wanted to get, and I left. It was also amazing for me that this job that I've always dreamt about, I got it, and I got what I wanted to.
There's more.
There is more, right?
Wow.
And then I left the dream job for something better, amazingly. In my finances, I didn't have a proper financial plan. Like I said, I was just living every day as it comes. So I was able to, and on the session too, we also have like finance people also come on the call and advise us as to how to save our money. Shout out to Coach Yewande as well. So we had finance sessions as well, how to spend your money, how to save your money. And with that, I've been able to save. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be naming details here or how detailed I should go, but I'm able to save. I'm able to invest. I'm able to invest money and do great things that in my mind, it's mind-blowing. Like, Coach, you know this, it's mind-blowing, the things I've been able to do in 2 years with money.
Wow.
Yes, it's mind-blowing. Like what would take people usually even 10 years to get, I was able to get it. Also with the grace of God in 2 years, but with clarity and having everything penned down, I was able to do that. Apart from my careers too, I've also done the work. So even though I'm giving you the general overview of my plan, there's still plan for how I want my plan to come to life. So even
plan of the plan.
Yes, the plan of the plan. I also have my plan, the plan for my plan. So what I'm just giving is like general overview. You would need to go to the program and have your own experiences and your own transformation, and you would be able to share your stories like this. But in terms of my, I took courses as well to improve myself. I improved my skill sets to get me to the places that I want to get, to the tables that I'm able to speak at. I did courses as well. In terms of, I'm trying to remember now, in my spiritual life, it has grown. I've improved. Like sometimes I'm praying. My husband will be asking me, what is the problem? Is there any spirit that you are casting and binding that I'm not aware of? It's confusing. But my spiritual life too is also doing well. All around it's been good. I can't even complain. It's just whenever I even have a challenge, it's always good challenges. It's not bad challenges. And what I just even want to say is that the process is continuous. Okay, yes. And then I also started my business. I was able to register the business. I wasn't doing anything. So I have my career that I'm doing, that I do my 9 to 5. And then I also have my business and the opportunity. And I know I'm saying so many things, and it's not coordinated, but in my business, what I'm going to say with my business is that I feel like it's because I wrote down what I wanted for my business, what I wanted. It's kind of opened my mind. It opened opportunities, literally. Because if I did not write it down, like immediately I wrote it down, immediately I was seeing opportunities for my
In that
business.
area. Yeah.
So if I did not write it down, I wouldn't have gotten I feel like I wouldn't have gotten the opportunities. And this I buy and sell on Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. And the places that I get my materials from, or the products where I get the materials that I sell, is literally 15-20 minutes drive from my house. And this place has always been there.
Wow.
And I never knew. So it's because of I wrote it down that my eye was opened and my mind was in tune to receive the opportunities that I received. So yeah, for me the business is just amazing, and it's also work from home business, or do business from home.
Yeah.
So it's from the comfort of my house at my own timing, at my own convenience. There's no stress. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. You know, there's
Yes.
something you said that really, really struck me. You know, talking about when something comes into your state of awareness, you know, a lot of us are walking on gold mines. Like, opportunities are there, but because we have not sat down to kind of like articulate what we want for the future, we haven't sat down to think through what we want our lives to be like. We haven't sat down to be intentional about working the plan and making it work. Even when the things come our way, because we don't have our attention on that thing, it will pass us by.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't even know that you needed it. How many times have you driven past a place you didn't even know was there until one day when you had to go there? You're like, oh, I didn't know this place was there.
This
I didn't know
place is
that we had this
literally
in
beside
here.
Costco that I go to for shopping
Imagine.
every month, and I never
Wow.
even took it. I never
Imagine.
even paid attention. I never,
Wow.
and so many people even drive by there. They don't even know that that's what they're
That is
doing.
not, yeah, because now you're looking for it. Now it's in your state of
Yes.
awareness, which leads you to my next question that I have for you, which is around, and let me give a bit of context. So Tosin has mentioned here today that when she came onto the program, she didn't even have a job. Like, she didn't even have a job. She was like, you know what, I don't know, I'm just going to give this my best, right? So she came into the program on scholarship, because we have scholarships over at Mom University, right? And
Yeah.
what I can say is that in 3 months, I saw Tosin go from someone who needed a scholarship into someone who was able to get jobs that she was even saying, oh, which one should I pick out of this? Like, she had
Yes.
options of picking opportunities. And I saw
Yes.
Tosin move from saying, you know what, I'm no longer satisfied with just coming into Mom University. I want to do more. I know that my life is more. I want to see myself move into more. Therefore, I'm going to jump from just doing this group coaching program into a one-on-one coaching program. This was someone who 3 months before didn't have a job, right? And I'm looking at Tosin, I'm like, at that time, it was just 3 months into the job. So it's not like I said, I've now become a billionaire, right?
Yes.
But the fact that she said, you know what, I want more. Therefore, I'm going to invest in my more. I'm going to invest in my next season, because I know that for me to get to this next season, the person that I used to be is not qualified to go to that next level. I need to up-level my existence so that I can step into the new, right? So I want to just share a bit about what was going on in your mind when you thought, oh, I need to invest in myself. Whether it's time or energy or money or whatever kind of investment, I need more. And I need to invest. What was your mindset like that made you go from, I can't afford this program, into I want to pay for one-on-one coaching? Yeah. What was going through your mind?
So for me, what was going through my mind is just I wanted change, and I was desperate for change. And I was ready to just pay the price, because you cannot get it for free. If you want a different result, you have to do things differently. And everybody's wavelengths in the group program or the group coaching session is different. The way everybody's level of assimilation. And to be honest, the group session was amazing, because for me, we're all women from different walks of life going through the same process. Everybody was also had that question. Everybody had said yes to at least one of those questions. So we're all in the same. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. There was no discrimination. It was just full of love and good banter. So I enjoyed the group session and the group chats that we usually have, the projects that we had. But even much more is that I wanted more, and I wanted it personified to myself. And I was ready to pay whatever or give whatever it costs. And I feel like, also to when you pay for something, your sense of value for it is a bit different than if you got it for free. Even though you get scholarship, and it doesn't mean that you take it for granted, but when you pay, it's like, that's extra, that because I paid money like this, money
You must
must
not
not
waste it.
waste. So
I know.
you must you must maximize it. You must maximize the money that you have spent. So it's really, really good. So for me, it was more of that value, and then it's not even too much for you to place that money on yourself, towards growth, towards your own personal development, because the best investment that you can give you is on yourself, apart from your okay, go and take a bite. so 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 it's beyond the clothes. I know how much I can spend, okay, on my clothes, how much I can spend on my bag or my shoe. I know how much I'm willing to spend. So how much more on something that would improve my mind? And as I said, like when there's a mindset shift, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, the
Yeah.
emojis, that's fire, that fire, the
Boom,
head
boom,
blowing
boom,
up
boom,
is
boom.
just amazing. Like how you can sit down and what your mind can conceive is just amazing. I know they talk about the mind and everybody, but that's overhaul. I don't know, bulldozing of your mind, literally. And
Weeding
ever
out the
since,
nonsense.
exactly, and ever since I came in contact with Coach Sheye, like there's nothing that is impossible. Literally, there is nothing
Ooh,
that is
nothing is
impossible.
impossible.
You cannot meet Coach Sheye. Like even me myself, I usually hear her voice in my head. Tosin, this serious. This is not impossible. Sit down and think about it. Pray. Ask Holy Spirit to show you. He will show you. But it's not impossible. It must yield results. So far you've conceived it in your heart. It's Holy Spirit that gave you that, because sometimes we have ideas and we say like, oh, this my idea is not good enough. Let me just pass it to the side. Coach Aya will say that for you to have that idea, it's Holy Spirit that dropped it. You by yourself, you are not the one that conceived that unimaginable idea. So for me, that mindset shift is priceless. You can't even place a price on it, because once your mind even shifts, automatically your life shifts. Once your thinking shifts, immediately your life is just moving. Immediately. It's not even until you begin to even see things manifest physically. Once your mind has already even conceived it, literally, it's already even happening. It's just a matter of time. Like I said, even the things that I'd even put down that I wanted to achieve in 10 years, that, in 10 years' time, I want to achieve XYZ. In a year, in 2 years, I'm able to achieve it, and I'm even looking for more. I was looking for my dream job, and I got that job and I left it.
Exactly.
It's still mind blowing that I got the job that I've always wanted and I left it for a better one. And it's because opportunities are always cropping up, because I'd also opened my mind. It's still a daily work, it's still a daily process, but that mindset shifts. You cannot you
Wow.
cannot
Right now,
overprice
even me,
it.
I feel like I should go and sit down somewhere and say, God, open my mind too. Let me also
Yes,
get
so
this.
yes,
Wow.
mindset shifts, it cannot be overpriced. So if you see anything that is along the lines that you want, that even though the money, you can also have like payment plans, you can do like installment payments, you don't have to. And I also realized that you can always ask to. So even though they don't even put payment plan, you can ask them that, please, can I pay
Exactly.
in
That's
bits?
it.
And you'll be amazed of like the worst they will tell you is no, but you really be amazed that they would
Yeah.
actually agree. Some people, sometimes I even say, oh, somebody even has extra and the person wants to even pay or sponsor
Yep.
somebody, so it's just,
You have to do
just
the
ask.
asking. Yeah.
Yes, just ask and put yourself out there. I remember even for me, so I didn't have a job, and I really wanted the program. I wrote a letter, literally
Yep.
to Coach Sheye, say that, please, I want this program, I beg, please. I
Please
want
help
the program.
me.
I don't have money. Oh. I will blow one day, but today, help me. So I
Wow.
asked, and I was granted the opportunity. Actually, that was one. And because I was given the opportunity, I did not even take it for granted. And I'm happy for the events that have happened afterwards.
Wow. So mind blowing. Before I'm too basking in the into something. So let me let Nika share her question because wow, like when your mind shifts, your life shifts. I'm like, that's the quotable quote, tweetable tweets. Wow.
I think it's just been like just having this interview series has been phenomenal for me. It's been a growth path for me from when we started the boot camp to when we had interview series, and now we're having the ambassador series, and it's just the same message every time. It's I got clear, and the moment I got clear, then everything was just falling in place. Like it's like you get clear and you get your vision kind of like improved. You know, I remember. I think it was a family rising when I was sharing my story about getting a pair of glasses. The moment you get, you can either coast through life, or you can get clear and you start seeing what others are seeing around you. Because most times,
Yes.
you know, we feel like, how's this person doing it? How's that person doing it? But the moment you get clear, you're able to see, oh, that's why.
Oh, no wonder.
This store was just 15 minutes away from my house. Are you kidding? You know, so I mean, it's just phenomenal for me. Like, if you feel like you're listening right now and you're like, this is where I want to be. I want to be clear. I want my mind to open up. I want to get clear on what I need to do. Like, seriously, we have this program in Mom University. It's called Purpose Incubator Program. So it's momuniversity.com/incubator. I would say get into there and get into the program and get clear. Like, who wouldn't want this? Like what you're saying. That's what I've been thinking while you're talking. I was like, this is it. This is how we want it. We're not promising that once you're done with the incubator, your life will go from 0 to 1.
All your problems will be solved.
No. All your problems will be solved. But one thing is, you will get clear and you start seeing things at a whole new level. If you're looking for a job and you show up at an interview, your horror, your perspective, everything about you is different because this is a woman that is clear. Like you're clear. There is no, oh, I think I should. And then people can read, right? It's funny how communication is 20% of what you see and 80% of body language. And body language rests a lot on what's going on in your mind. That's why, you know, you see some people like, I don't know, there's just something about her. You're saying the right things, but there's just something. So if you really want to clear all of that, weed that out, have your foundation shattered, because I don't
exactly. Like, actually, break the table.
The
Give us a new one.
The whole
shatter all the limiting thoughts and beliefs and everything. Do you know something you said now reminded me of another testimony of one of our students who lives in I think Finland or so. She was sharing her testimony. I think she was in the 3rd batch or something, and she was sharing her testimony. She had not even finished the first term in Mom University. She lived in a place where they didn't even speak English, right? And they told her that the job she wanted to get, she wouldn't get it. Yeah, it was only made for people who were native born. Right. She was only an English speaker. She wasn't even bilingual. Okay. And before the end of the program, I remember she saying, you know what, I'm just going to, all the things that I've learned here, my mind has shifted. I'm going to go and I'm going to apply for this job. I don't care. Even if they say, I'm just going to try. And guess what? She got the job.
Wow.
And I could never, and in a bilingual opening for people that are native speaker, Finnish speakers, she's an English speaker. She got the job.
Wow.
And I just reminded what Tosin said about when your mind shifts, your life shifts. Because sometimes all you really need is clarity. Like what Nika was sharing about glasses. The moment you put on your glasses, the things that used to look like they were so far away, that looked like it was impossible, start to become possible. Not because they were impossible before, but because now you see clearly. I see clearly now maybe all you need. So sometimes that's what you want to do for yourself. Get clarity on your next steps, your next path, where you want to go, what's the future going to look like for you. Sometimes clarifying that for yourself, maybe all you need for you to start to attract opportunities to you. That's it. Because some people are going to see you differently. They see how you carry yourself. They're like, wow, she's different. There's something about her, that is different. And that is just that's what you need, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need. Wow. Okay.
So you're working your career during the day. Like this babe is wearing different hats. You're working during the day. I've had with you before. You shared your business. You're doing your business in the evening, and then you're being a mom. Of course, somebody just wanted a bicycle. You're being a mom. You're living in a different country, and all of that is happening all at once. I think the big question I want to ask you is, how have you been able to deal with fear? We've been talking a lot about fear. I'm always the one asking this question. 4-letter word, fear. We've been talking about it for a while in this series. Like, how have you been able to deal with fear? Because sometimes you get clear on what you have to do, but then things just start popping up. You know how it is when you're a woman on a mission. That's when
Yes.
there is a lot of omission happening, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you been able to deal with fear?
Okay. So for me, fear is a major, and even Coach Eye can attest to this, right? So the fear, in fact, even me too, I'm always afraid. Anytime they give us assignment, I'm always, hey, God, oh, this is how we do it. I'm the one. I'm that person in class that when they give assignment, I'll go and message everybody. Hey, how you do your own? Oh. Fear is always creeping up on me, but I've just learned to just counter it. Fear is just, it comes and then you counter it and then it will go. And then it will come again. Then you counter it, then it will go. So you should always have your word or your conviction or your clarity at hand. Because whenever, that's for me, that's what I do. Whenever fear creeps in, immediately I'll counter it with either the word of God, what did I hear, what did I read, what did I say, what has God told me, what have I heard or what have I read, and somehow God always shows up every time. So I have my word, I have my journals that I can go back to easily. That's how I always conquer the fear, because fear would always come in. It would always, well, maybe for me, it might not be the same for everybody, but for me, fear always creeps in at every point I can. I'm always like an alarmist, like, oh my God. But but every time fear comes, like I'll just even remind myself that God has given me the spirit of love and of sound mind. Fear is, yeah, this fear today you will come and you will go. And sometimes too, as Coach A will say, sometimes too, you will do it afraid. Whenever, even though you are afraid, you will just do it. What's the worst that will happen? You
Yeah,
will fail.
true.
That's the, and at least if I feel, I know that, okay, this is how not to do it next time. I will move. You keep on going. Even if I'm afraid, if I've used the word of God, because sometimes even doubt will be creeping in, I'm still afraid. I will still go ahead and do it. What's the worst that will happen? That's always my mantra. What's the worst that will happen? I will not get it, or I will fail. And even if I fail, at least I know I tried. At least I've satisfied my conscience than me not trying at all and then just living in that, also that fear of unknown. Like, oh, I never even did this before. It's that one, the haunt of that one is even much, much more painful than the fear of not even trying at all.
Yeah.
So I will still do it afraid, even when I'm afraid, even when I was going to sign up for this program and when it was, I didn't even know that I would even graduate there. I would even pass. Let me confess. But I'll just be taking it one step at a time, doing it class by class. The community is amazing. You can always reach out to everybody in the class, from my sisters on the program to the coach. Even though she will do for us, we'll just we'll message her, please, ma. They'll say, okay, Tosi, come, let me show you, come on Zoom, join us on Zoom. Let's see. Okay, come to the class early. But you yourself, you just have to just be determined. And the fear will come. It would always keep coming for every level, at every point. And I think maybe that's also devil's way of, or his own gimmicks. So even if the fear comes, we move. We'll still do it afraid.
Yeah, I
Long
love
story
it.
short.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love how you said journaling. I mean, going back to what God has said to you. Some of us don't journal. We don't
Yes.
document our journey. So it's difficult for you to go back to remind yourself of what God said. What did God say? Right? Some of us don't even check our Bibles to know what God says about us. So if you're not reading your Bible, you're not journaling, you have no conviction, you have no clarity, it's easy for the enemy to come and trample on you because you don't even know your rights as a citizen of this Commonwealth of Zion. You don't know what you are entitled to. So the enemy is going to come and run roughshod over you, right? He's going to come and say, well, God didn't say that, or you can't do this. Oh, maybe you shouldn't do that. This is too big for you. I mean, yeah, Tosin has some testimonies. I'm like, huh? You know when you say jaw dropping? I'm like, what? You know? And I'm looking at her like, even me that I told you go, be going, God is with you. You know? And I'm like, but sometimes, and I know what she said about if you don't try, it's going to haunt you forever because you'll be like, what? I mean, maybe I should have tried. Maybe I would have actually gotten this thing. That's worse. For me, that's worse. I'd
Yeah.
rather try and fail than not try at all. And what's failure in any case? Failure is just something that happened, right? It's a temporary setback. I can try again. That I even feel doesn't mean I should give it up. I will try again and keep trying until I get what I want to get. Right? And that is so phenomenal. Thank you for sharing that, Tosin, because some of us are not deliberate and intentional about keeping track of what God has said to us. So when the enemy comes and says, did God really say? Like what he did to Jesus, even Jesus, did God really say?
He said it is
Even
written.
even
Yes.
to Adam and Eve, in the garden, did God really say? And then Jesus Christ would say, well, it is written. Even Jesus said it is written. Who am I? Not to say it is written.
Exactly.
Not to be
Right?
written.
I have to keep going
Exactly.
back and checking. It is written. It is written. It's written. Because that's where the answers are. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I have fear. I have these dreams in my heart. I don't know what to do. Sometimes you just need to be in the space where your mind is shifted, where you start to believe the impossible, where you're like, you know what?
Exactly.
This is great. And sometimes your testimony that you're going to be sharing with somebody else may just be another person's liberation. And I'm happy that we're going to be having some of our ambassadors on this call this week, because one of us had another testimony because Tosin shared a testimony on a call we had. And the person was like, I'm gonna go for it. And the person went for it.
Wow.
And within a month, what she was looking for was done. So you can't tell how you get this catalytic movement in your heart because you were somewhere in a community like Mom University where
Yeah.
something can shift in you. Being around other people can make a difference, for you. Being around the best coaches can do that for you. Just listen to a coach share her journey can be what you need to hear, right? So you can never tell what could shift for you. So don't sit there and say, oh, I don't know. Like Tosin was saying, sometimes just ask. I'm sorry, I really want to get in. Sometimes personally for me, I will not, even I do for my kids. You need to ask. I'm not going to start suggesting to you what to make your life better. If you need it, ask for it. Because sometimes you have to be the one to do the asking. Even the Bible says, ask and you will
And
receive.
it shall be given.
Right?
Yeah.
Ask and you will receive. Ask. Knock on the door. Say, guys, I need help. Support me. I want to come into this school. I'm desperate for this school. I need support. What can I do? And then somebody will say, okay, these are the options you have, right? So ask away. Do it afraid. Wow. Nike.
I mean,
I even just remembered,
go
sorry,
ahead.
I just remembered now what even Mama Neta usually even says during our sessions. Like she'll say if it doesn't even scare you, if your dreams doesn't even scare you, like when you dream, it is not shocking you, then you've not started. Your dream is supposed to even be making you shiver. It should be making you shiver, it should make you scared, it should make you afraid so that you cannot sleep. Yeah, so you're supposed to even be scared of your dreams. If you're not scared, or if you're not even afraid of the big things you're dreaming of, then you need to
Then it's
dream
too
again.
small.
It's so
It's too
small.
small. Expand your
Yeah.
mind a little bit more. Wow.
Yeah. It's so true. I think that I just kind of stopped at the part where I'm thinking of, how regret can be much more painful than even the feeling
Yes.
you
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
So I've had times when I had to make decisions on something. I just ask myself, if I don't do this thing, how am I gonna feel for the next 5 years? I mean,
Yeah.
you know how regret can just hug you for
Yeah.
a long
Yes.
time, and then you can see how, like in the future, you're like, I wish I had just done this thing.
Yeah.
And then you look back in retrospect, you're like, it was actually not a big deal at the end of the day.
Yes.
I should just gone for it. Okay. By the way, I am so happy I am not sitting outside because I didn't realize that today is when the people that are going to wash the windows are coming in. So I am so I just saw water spraying. I'm like, what?
And you're like, oh, it's a good thing I didn't go outside today.
I'm sure the guy would have showed up and be like, ma'am, what were you thinking? Excuse me. So
Put the pot on your head.
I do envy Tosin, but I'm glad I'm not outside. So, so if you hear lots of noise, that's what's going on. Okay. So I feel like another thing I wanted to touch on, even still talking about fear, is that how are you able to deal with imposter syndrome? And the reason why I'm asking this is because you were somebody that ticked yes to everything, jumped in on this, into this program, still, in that phase, and in 3 months you're able to transform, get the, what it means to get a dream job.
Dream job.
Quit the dream job because
And
you
you're
didn't realize that you weren't such a great dreamer at the time you created that dream job. There's
because
actually
now
something
your dream
bigger.
has become
Like
bigger.
you get what I'm saying? Like not a lot
Yes.
of people can share that. Some people are still having their dream boards on the vision board, but you move past that to see the dream job wasn't really the dream. There's a bigger dream. So how are
Exactly.
you able to deal with imposter syndrome? Because of course the dream job, they didn't just drop in your lap. You had to apply, you had to go for interview, you had to perform even on the job. How did you not feel like an imposter moving from being not employed, now working your dream job, now rocking a business? Like, wow.
So, Paul, in fact, it's just amazing that you've asked that question, because for me, imposter syndrome is something that I'd struggled with. So, when I got the dream job, of course, I'll feel, oh, am I even sure that I can do this thing? Even when they've like assigned tasks to me in at work, and I'm doing it, and I'm even doing it very well. And my boss is telling me, oh, you're doing very well. This is amazing. You're great. Da, da, da. They are giving me serious positive feedback, and I'm still doubting, like, this woman, I'm sure she's winding me. She's prepared to, she's probably maybe I did not even do this well. Even there was a time that we even had a project, a really big project that I was going to do. I actually did a presentation to our CEO, and the woman really commended the presentation. So we now had one-on-one with the directors now, or one of the directors. So she now asked me, Tosin, what do you think? So when she said she wanted to give me feedback, so even me myself, I've already even written lists of the things that I did wrong, and how, so that in case I said, I know this is what I know, that this is what you want to say about me that I did wrong, and this is my own solution, so that at least she knows I'm thinking of my problem and how to solve it. So at least, even though I've done bad, but I've reflected on the bad things that I've done, and I have solutions of how I can improve going forward. So during when I was going to have that one-on-one with that director, the first thing she told me was that, oh, Tosin, what do you think went well? Went well. Did it go well?
I didn't want to go went well. I was busy taking what didn't go well.
Oh, Tosin, what do you think went well? What did you like most about and I was really struggling to point out what I did well, because in my mind, I already have like 10 points of what I did wrong, waiting to tell her that, oh, I know, me, myself, I accept faults. And then I kept struggling. I said, okay, then I started cracking my head. It was difficult for me to appraise myself. That was when I knew that, Tosin, you have a problem. That was when I analyzed that I actually have a problem, because they asked me, what did you do well? I couldn't even articulate. But if you had asked me, and I actually told her that, do you know that if you had asked me what I did wrong, I can tell you 10 things I did not do right. But now you're asking me, what did I do well? She said, okay, well, I'm going to tell you. And then she gave me positive feedback. This is what you did well. This. And I said, okay, which one is the bad one? Which one do you want me to work on? She just said, Tosin, funny enough, everything went well. I was like, no, please, at least we're having one-on-one. You've asked me first. Which one? Because me, I can tell you my own, but I want to hear from you first before I tell you. She was like, no. In her own opinion, maybe nerves. She could tell that I was nervous, which is normal. She says if you're not nervous, it's normal because you're discussing with like stakeholders. It's normal for you to feel nervous. And I was nervous initially, and I was able to walk through it as I continued with my presentation. So I now told her about these are the ones. So I now told her the ones that I had listed out as my problem areas. And then she said, Tosin, all these things that you were even listing, I did not even notice it. I did not even see it. No, and I'm sure nobody, because even me too, I was listening on the call to give you feedback, because I think we have a relationship. So she was waiting to give me feedback of my presentation. I said that all these things you're even saying, because me, I was even saying I have an accent, I'm not speaking well, maybe some words I wasn't pronouncing them well. She was like, no, that in her own opinion, she cannot even hear any accent.
Wow.
And me, at least I said, like this one, I even made typo error. There's one I did not put full stop. He said, Tosin, nobody even noticed. Nobody noticed it. That was when I realized that, Tosin, you have excruciating imposter syndrome and you need to work through it. So that was how I started my journey into working through it, that I went back to what's making me also have this imposter syndrome. Why are you doubting yourself? So I went back actually. Remember, we had also done this book of your past experiences that may be affecting you, or the way you see yourself. What exactly have you heard about yourself that is making you doubt yourself, or making you look down on yourself, making you lose? And if they even give me work, I usually even do it with so much overdo because of my imposter syndrome. So I would also leverage this imposter syndrome that I have, that, oh, okay, because I don't want them to have any issue or any problem with me, I will still leverage it and still overdo whatever is requested of me. My friend is even on this call and I've just seen her. She usually says that, Tosin, if they give you work, lasso work, you'll be giving them Harvard standard in return. I should be coming down. I should be taking this easy, Tosin, be coming down. But that was how I've also leveraged the imposter syndrome. So it's something that I'm still managing. So every time I still get like negative words, I still reaffirm myself with positive thoughts, reaffirm myself with the word of God. Like, you know what? This job, so I wouldn't have gotten it if I
I
wasn't.
wasn't half as good. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
if I
very
wasn't
common.
half as good. This person,
Yeah.
they saw me, they like my work, they
They
have the qualifications.
have-
It's not as if I lied on my resume. It's not as if everything you can do. And actually, so in the real sense of it, this thing you can do. So you just have to just let it go. The ones that the imposter syndrome that you are still holding on to, then you leverage it and use it to your advantage. Let it be your
Wow.
success or
Wow.
your excellence factor. So
Oh wow.
the many
Wow.
ones that I
Wow.
have within me, I will just use it as, oh, okay, I know I don't want them to judge me negatively or say this one is remaining here. So for that, with that reason, or based on that, I would
Over
push
deliver.
myself. Yes, I
Mm,
would over deliver
mm,
wherever they ask me to do stuff. So I will over deliver, and that's the ones that is left. But most of it, I'll just let it go. But it will creep in on you. Sometimes you'll feel like, oh, or I will feel like, oh, are you sure you deserve this? But then again, I deserve this thing. I deserve good life. I deserve soft life. I deserve
Mm,
enjoyment. I'm not supposed to be
yes.
suffering.
Soft life gang. Yes.
I
You know,
deserve enjoyment. It's
I
not
love
only to
what
be hustling.
like you're just yeah. I love
Yeah.
what you're saying,
I
and I
deserve it.
love
I
that
think that's it. I think a lot
example.
of us have that problem.
Mm,
Where and I think that that's the basis of a lot of imposter syndrome for women especially. Women especially, a lot of us do not believe we deserve the good life. We believe based on how we're brought up, especially if you're a person of, you know, you're African descent, you're black. So we were brought up to say the woman will suffer, you know. People who actually
Exactly.
use suffering as competition. We say, you're suffering. Oh, that one is small. Come and share my own
Uh-huh.
suffering. Like people, I think we wired to think that we must suffer, that it's suffering is it should be that's our should be our existence. No, we deserve the good life. We deserve the good things that God is bringing our way. We deserve good opportunities. We deserve to be in rooms full of opportunities, full of amazing people. We deserve to step up into big roles. We deserve it. And God is even looking at us. I'm like, I'm waiting for you. Come. Like this big table that He set for us is God wants us. We deserve to be in big rooms, and I think that that's something that is not allowing a lot of us to place a bet on ourselves, to go for the big things we want in life. Is putting a hold on, putting this lead on how far we're willing to aspire into good things. So we're like, oh, let me just manage. No, we're not managing again. Say no to
It's true.
managing. You deserve the good life. You deserve beautiful things. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Tosin. And it's really, I mean, it's one of the things that I'm putting in my journal. I deserve a good life. And I have to remind myself every day. The moment that the
Yes.
enemy comes with his thoughts and doubts and imposter syndrome and all those things, I'm just going to have to tell myself, Olushe, you deserve the good life. Wow.
The good
So
life in
good.
excess.
Yeah, I deserve the good life.
you
Running
know,
over.
I really love your illustration with your boss. And I'm just thinking like, wow, you know, it's interesting how most times when even this imposter syndrome comes in, we're the only ones that can see it.
Yeah.
Like we're the only ones that can feel it. Everybody else, you know, thought you did an amazing job.
Mm.
And I love when you were talking about women. I was like, even to the point when, you know, some people are so into this so much that they show up at an event, you look so amazing. Someone walks up to you and say, you look so amazing. Like, oh, can't you see this
Can you
people
see
on my
this thing? Oh,
can't you see this?
this is my
Exactly.
earring. I bought
And
$5 in
everybody's
Walmart.
like,
Blah blah blah.
no,
Just
well,
take the
now we see it.
compliments.
Now we see it. Now that you mentioned it, now we see it. You know, and I remember what illustration my dad gave me, and he's always stayed with me. It's like, you know, it's so funny how people are so into themselves. So if a lot of people come together, we take a group picture together, and everybody's definition of whether that picture is good or great is how they look in the
Exactly.
picture.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
some random person that's not part of the picture looks at the picture like, oh my
Like,
God, this is such a
wow, this is
beautiful
so
picture.
beautiful.
But then
Like, yeah,
I'm gonna
really,
look
didn't you
at
see
it
I
and
was
like, no,
standing?
it's not nice. Let's take another one. My hair was not, you know,
and so I just kind of said the whole picture is rubbish just because of that, of me in the group picture. So that's how we're so into ourselves sometimes, and people don't even see all these things.
Yeah.
And we let
Yes.
it stop us from achieving what God has planned for us. And you know, it's what in Mom University is like, take all these layers away. You don't really need it. Do you feel lighter now?
That's-
Yes. Okay, now let's now go for the walk.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to walk through life with all the layers and all the even though you think you're running, you're probably just still crawling because the weight is on you. So that was that. And another thing that I wanted to say about what you shared was the fact that, okay, you know how most people feel like people achieve a level of greatness because they're very confident. They are most people that don't have fears. And just hearing you like, look, I am that Miss. I don't want to call you names, but you know what I mean. I am that, you know, I'm listening to you and I'm like, I'm not even up to that level to be like, oh my gosh, you know, to like, you had it from the beginning. I had to fill out application form, oh my gosh, to what are we doing in class? And then even to at work, and just hearing all of that and knowing that you're still able to achieve what you've been able to achieve despite that. I feel like anyone listening, because usually that's the excuse we give ourselves. It's because they've been doing this for a while. It's because they got it together.
Do you want us to share our back secrets with you?
Exactly.
The part you don't see,
like,
right?
Oh no. Coach Saya, she's been doing this for a while.
She's superhuman.
She has no problem.
In her blood like this, is Bible that is flowing. Bible is flowing in her veins. She don't have challenge. Coach. She's superwoman.
She's superwoman. She doesn't cry. She doesn't.
No, she doesn't. Coach. Coach cannot cry. She doesn't even have emotion. She's wired, super wired, differently.
So exactly, and that's what we always think, and we think, oh, that's why that person is achieving that. But you're just sharing that, look, despite everything, and this is you working at that dream job and still willing to quit the dream job and to move into a better one. Like, let me add it to my list of all of people. Like, that's phenomenal. Like, if, you know, if you want to think about your fears, you just want to settle in this comfortable zone. Like, I've achieved greatness. Good job, great job, and then moving on. Like, I salute you.
Yeah, is that comfort zone? I think it's the killer. The comfort zone is the killer, because you cannot achieve greatness with comfort. Absolutely. Like, even with, I could have even stayed with the dream job. It's comfortable. It's everything. That, even when I even mentioned that I wanted to quit, a lot of people were asking me, "Are you sure?" Because it's actually a government job. And everybody was saying that you want to leave government job to do what now? What else again do you want to do if you're leaving government? Government job is the goal.
The true pill.
And you're leaving government to where? To do what? Why? Like, but I think that comfort is actually what also is also a trick, or what would I say? Like, we wanted to buy a house and we ended up buying two. So I should even be comfortable and just relax and just sit down and say, oh, it's okay.
I got what I wanted. What am I looking for?
Yeah, but there is more. There is more to which God wants us to do. If I'm even now serious, I'm living intentionally within the space of 2 years, and this is what I'm able to achieve. How much more if I even now become even much more uncomfortable? And a lot of times, so people would not even get your discomfort. Like, a lot of times when I'm uncomfortable, some people will be saying, "What are you looking for again? Don't be not too greedy. Don't be greedy. It's only you that." We have those moments where some people will say, you are being greedy, or you should just relax, take things easy. But everybody's wavelength is different, and everybody's capacity and how God has created everybody. It's just like how we would say in our class, which we even still mention in the boot camp, like every car has the capacity of 250 miles or kilometers
per hour.
Yes.
Kilometers per hour.
Yes, so every car has 250, but most times we'll be walking within the speed limit of the areas that we're living in. So maybe sometimes the capacity of the car is 250, and then you're driving or cruising at 50, and you think that's okay, that's comfortable.
Exactly.
Or 30, and think that's comfortable. Oh, you've done much. Whereas there's even so much more, even times 6 that you can do. But because you are settling in, and with the community that you have also created for yourself, everybody just moving 30. It's okay. Let me just move.
And if you're
32 is not bad.
You look like the leader of the bunch, right?
Yes, it is okay. You gotta get, like, I can just relax. I can just take it easy. Whereas that's not what God has called you for. There is still so much more that you can do,
So
and
good.
you just have to be uncomfortable. You have to stretch
Wow. Wow.
and break the what's the word now? The wine, is it wine ban? You have to stretch and break out
Yeah.
that's
Break out of it.
box. You have to break out of it. So when you even get to the next level, so there is still more, and you break out of it. And even what even still scares me the most is that parable, as you would say too.
Parable
Like
of the
God will
talents.
ask you,
Yeah.
all these talents that I've given you, all this skill set that I gave you, what did you use it for, and how far did you come with it? Because I had given you for every skill, for every talent that you have. God did not just give you for the fun of giving that. I just take that. You can go with it. There's a purpose to which He gave you that passion or that skill or those things that are burning inside of you. Those things that you can do without even thinking. There is a reason God has placed them in your heart. So, and you would account for it. So for me, it's always worrisome. I was like, okay, let me just even do this one. So I know that, okay, at least I can explain small when he asks me. At least I've done this one first. Let me rest. But I will still keep pushing. It's okay to rest. It's okay to relax in between. But it is now not okay to be comfortable in that space or that box that you have placed yourself. You still have to still expand, because there's even so much more that that you can do.
Wow. So good. Huh. There is so much more. And I love the analogy you gave about that we actually cruising in the speed limit of where we live. So some of us
Yes.
are living. Maybe you need to change your address. I'm believing on
Yes.
Apprehende. Sorry, you guys cannot relate with what I just said because you don't live in my city. That's our expressway in Edmonton. Maybe I need to move from school zone, because if you live near the school zone, speed limit is 30, right? So you may be comfortable driving 30 because it's school zone, which is fine. That's the level you are right now. You need to move to, maybe you move to 50 because this other road says 50. Now you want to cruise. Imagine you driving from intercity from one city to another and you're doing 50. People are going to run your road like, can you please leave the road? This is not where you should be. You should be cruising at 100, 110, whatever, right, on this road, because this is what it is. And if you go to some places in Germany where Autobahn, right, where you're allowed to go and just go and break every limit possible.
Wow.
What it means is that some of us need to shift where we are, maybe the community we are in, the people around us, because we talk about, possibilities, but like what DDK would say, possibility blindness, right? Where what you think is possible is limited to what you've seen before. Some of us need to change our location, where we are, who we're interacting with, so that we can see more. And I feel like that's kind of like what a place like Mom University does, because you thought you were epic. You come into the room and you see people that are like, okay, I thought I was epic. Now I see somebody who's done more than I've done. So there's more. There's so much more that I can achieve. I think that's the beauty of it. Having people from different parts of the world, with their different strengths and different life orientation and paradigms and things like that, just as a way of shifting you into saying, well, there's so much more that I could be doing. There's so much more that I could be aspiring to, especially because God has put it in my heart. God has put it in me. If I can think it, that means God has put it in my heart. And it is possible. If your mind can conceive something, it means it is possible. So maybe you need to change who you're around and the people that are in your sphere and the people you're relating with. Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing, Tosin. Ike, do you have any thoughts? I'm just like drinking water on this one.
Well, I mean, I've been sipping, I've been taking notes, and I was thinking about even what you're saying about the car as well. So I drive a relatively fast car, but I don't speed. And so I've been driving this car for like maybe 2-3 years now. So, one day, my husband got in the car and driving, which is not one of the things I like doing. When he's in the car, I'm like, come and drive. So I was driving, and then he was looking at my gear, and I was like, what is this gear for? So you know how you could just move to drive, park, reverse? That's all I used to do. But then there's a way you can shift the gear to the left, and he says M plus whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, okay, let me check out what it is. So he got into the driver's seat, and then he got on the highway, and then he put it into the M gear. Like, I'm telling you, that car just went like
boom, boom,
and
boom,
I'm
boom.
just like,
Excuse me.
Like, it went from like, I don't want to tell you what we were doing, but it was bad. So I was like, stop. and there's actually this somewhere, you know, around my area where you can go race if you wanted to. So that's where we went to. It was a safe zone. I was like, stop, I need to get out. I was like, how do you know this car could do this? And you know, just made a joke. I was like, you didn't read the manual.
You didn't check. Exactly.
And you know, I was just listening to you, and I was just like, that's how some of us have been living life. You know, we don't even, when we look at ourselves, just think we do the basic stuff. That you see, all these things you guys are talking about. I know I can't do it. I just do basic stuff. And then that same life, if it was somebody else that was running that same life, they're not going to do basic stuff with it. They're going to do amazing stuff with it. So, and you don't want at the end of life, you look at your life and then you wonder, you know, I could have done so much more than this. It's just because I didn't read the manual, or maybe I wasn't inquisitive. My husband didn't read the manual, but he was just inquisitive enough to be like, let's check out what this would do. And I just felt like 3 years plus I've been using this car. I was like, you know what I noticed about that car is I noticed that most people that drive that car, they're like very young people. I'm like, no wonder. They know what they can do. You know, and so and that's what we're hoping to bring to you, you know, when you sign up for the incubator program in Mom University, is to kind of show you all the things you're capable of doing. Like that gear that has been right under your nose, you've been doing this, and you just look at yourself when you're done, like, oh my gosh, did I actually do that? Like, if my car could speak, my car would be like, ma'am, stop driving me. If you don't know how to use me,
drive me well,
please do return me back to the dealership. You don't know what you're doing. This guy here knows what he's doing. He should be the one driving me. And if I could speak to the person that made the car, they'd be like, excuse me, ma'am, that car wasn't made for you, because you are the work we put into the M series to work, you're not even tapping into it. It's like wasted time and effort. And that's how it is. God is looking at us like, the work I put into you, the things I have to you, woman, the time I spent to deposit things into you, to make sure that you're located in a particular place, to meet the people that you know, the people in your environment, the house that you picked out, and where you live is close to what you need. All the things are put in place just to make sure that you are set for the mission here. You're not even seeing it. And when you come into the university, it's like an eye opener, and then you begin to see things and wonder, oh my goodness, I am just like Nike with a fast car. And I didn't have any idea the capacity of the car itself. So I mean, that's just what I wanted to say. And
oh my goodness, you know what? I have been missing all the comments. Oh my god!
I know, that's why. That's
what's going on? Why is it quiet in here? Oh my goodness! I'm just seeing all of the comments.
It's amazing. Yeah,
so good.
I mean, yeah. Wow. That was what I was scrolling through as well. Like, okay, fear. I mean, people giving their own take on fear, and wow, you can run through the comments if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm like, oh gosh, people have been calling here. No wonder. I was like, it's so quiet today. What's going on here? Let me check what's going on. Oh my goodness! Wow, I mean, it's just been amazing. I mean, hearing this about this journey today. And for everyone who's on that fence thinking, how do I get myself into the space where I'm living my life exactly how God wants it to be? Because the bold life, like we've talked about in the last week, is the bold life is actually the life that God has asked you to live. So when it comes to boldness, it's not like you're living on that person's script. It is you living your own script that God wrote for you. It's you stepping into every single thing that God made you for. Just a few days ago, I was thinking about myself, like, Shay, you know you can sing very well. How come you've never ever thought of going into a studio to record a song? And I was like, okay. I don't even know where that thought came from. Like, okay. But I mean, just hearing Tosin say something about talent, I'm like, oh God, please don't ask me about this talent in case. But I mean, I'm just thinking about it like, really, there's so many things that we are capable of doing, but we haven't even given ourselves opportunities to do them. So whatever life God has called you to live, it's right here at your fingertips. And you know what? If you're on this call today, it just tells me that you have no excuse anymore. Because let's say before you did not know. Now you know that there is a way. There is a school called Mom University where we talk about purpose incubator, where after doing a program for 3 terms of 9 months, you come out clear and sure, and you're living your life, your epic life. You have no excuse anymore. So sorry if you thought you could escape. Sorry, you don't have an excuse anymore, because this program is here for you. Just check it out, momuniversity.com/incubator. And just go there, or just check Mom University out on Instagram. Mom University is spelled MOMYOU NIVRSITY. University. It's about you, and all that God has called you to be. Check out the program, sign up. We're here for you, to support you to live out the big life, the big dream and bold dream that God has put on the inside of you. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, thank you. Apologies to everybody who's been putting comments like, wow. Okay. Those are stretch and shatter the roof. Okay.
So good.
Said avoid distraction.
Comfort zone is the greatest enemy to greatness.
Enemy to greatness. And they say take off all the layers, and then as women we like bragging on suffering. Yeah, true. We like bragging on suffering. Like, who suffered the most?
That's my sister, by the way. That's my sister. That's my sister. I didn't answer her.
I know, right? I say, someone else said fear is terrible, but we're not letting it stop us.
Absolutely.
Wow, I think that's a big takeaway from this session today.
So
fear
good.
is so terrible, but we're not going to let it stop us. We're going to do it afraid. So whether it's you signing up for the incubator program or whatever step you're taking right now, don't let fear stop you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tosin, for coming in today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
for having
Thank
me.
you for sharing your story, Tosin.
I can tell Lucia is going to comment. So thank you so much.
It was so
Thank
good.
you.
We've gone a little bit over time because we usually want it to be an hour, but it's just amazing how the conversation is so powerful. And I am actually the honorable timekeeper. I notice when it's on the dot, but then it's so hard for me. It's so hard for me to
stop when the juice is just coming out.
Good. Yeah, this is so good. And then I see people joining in as well. I'm like, this is so good. And this is such a message that should be on, so that anyone, whatever you're going through, and you listen to this, it just encourages you. I have my notes all done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tosin. Thank you for inspiring
us. Thank you.
Just pray for that. All that you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you so much.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be popping in and just sharing a lot of these stories throughout the week. So whether you see us popping in the morning or in the evening or whenever you see us pop in, just come in, because we're pulling the chair out for this one. And we have to share all of these amazing stories with you, because it's really a journey of transformation. So we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye. Have a beautiful
Bye.